Deltarune isn't out yet, but luckily we just got our first look at every single secret rare coming in the set. And that's thanks to Storm Emeralda, the Japanese equivalent of our English set that just released in Japan. And now that the set list is out there, let's take a look at what we can expect. So Pokebeach has compiled all the secret rares from the set, so let's go over them, starting with the illustration rares here. We have this Masquerain art rare here from Rend, who is known for these kind of really hyper-realistic renditions of Pokemon, and yeah, this is no different here. This looks gorgeous. I love the kind of motion of the Masquerain flapping its wings here, and the leaves going along here too. This is, yeah, very solid art rare, I think. Next up, we have a Growlithe art rare. I know a lot of people have kind of been hoping for this after the Hisuian Growlithe that we got from Twilight Masquerade, I believe. That goes with the parent, but this is really cool. It's just super cartoony art style. So someone compare it to like someone like was saying it looked like a sticker. And I kind of see what they're talking about, but I think that's honestly more of a compliment more than anything. It's just super vibrant. I love the kind of perspective of you looking inside the house with the door here too. Yeah, just really cute, really cool. Really like this art rare a lot. And moving on to the Magmortar art rare here. This starts off an interesting trend because this is a very, well, with Rayquaza being the kind of main draw from Deltarune or Storm Emeralda. Interesting that they're going with some Gen 4 representation, which I'll talk about a bit more with another art rare coming up here. But having said, like, putting that all aside, Magmortar here looks amazing. Tiger Kasai is doing this one, and I've been a fan of them for a while. Like the kind of non-outline kind of looks of the Pokemon. I really like how they do that. It's similar to another artist, Hyogonosuke, I believe is how you pronounce it. Just really cool sort of rendering, and the splashes of the lava just looks like amazing, and how it kind of is glowing on Magmortar here. So another one that I'm definitely keen to try and get. Kyogre, this is a big one. So we have obviously, like I said, Mega Rayquaza is the big draw here, so it makes sense that we're also getting the other legendaries from the Hoenn region here. So we have the Kyogre, we had the Groudon coming up a bit later, but starting off with this Kyogre here. So Nurikabe did the artwork here, which is notable because they also did the illustration rare for Groudon and Paradox Rift, and people have been really wanting, myself included, like a Kyogre to kind of go with that. And they don't match up, like, perfectly. I don't think it was intended for them to be connecting artwork per se, but like, you put them side by side and they look amazing together, which is really cool that we're finally following up on that. Nurikabe also did a bunch of other really cool cards, like these kind of gigantic Pokemon, I guess, like the Tyranitar, I think from Paldea Evolved. But yeah, like the crashing waves, the kind of, I love the lighting coming through in the wave here too. I think that looks great. So yeah, another one that just makes sense here. I think it's great. So yeah, we'll talk a bit more about the Groudon in a minute, because I think it's kind of interesting how they've kind of done it here. But yeah, moving on to the Electivire from Rianti Hidiat. But they also did a bunch of other really cool artwork. The one that stands out to me is the Galarian Zapdos promo from Crown Zenith. And it's a very similar art style here, where it's like super jagged edges. I love this kind of fist that is appearing around Electivire. I think that looks really cool. And then you also have this volcano in the back, I guess sort of pairing with the Magmortar previously, that's also in the set. So I think this is, yeah, gorgeous card. But yeah, it is interesting that, like, this isn't a Hoenn set by any means. Like, we have like Inkay coming up. We also have like yeah, these cards and the Growlithe too. So it's not a Hoenn set specifically, but it's interesting that they are doing, like, specifically chose Magmortar and Electivire, because they are very heavily Gen 4 Sinnoh Pokemon, but still cool. I'm glad that they were included in the set. Next, we have the Pincurchin, which is not a Pokemon I'm typically... I don't ever think about. This is a very forgettable Pokemon, but geez, this is really, really cool. Tetsukiyama is really known for this, like, stippling sort of effect, where yeah, it's just like a bunch of dots kind of compiling together to make the artwork. And it looks amazing. I love the kind of lighting that's kind of illuminating these Pincurchin here. So, like, that's the cool thing about the CCG. Like, it makes you appreciate these Pokemon that I just don't care about Pincurchin normally, but this is really cool. So yeah, another one that I'm yeah, definitely gonna try pick up. Next up, we have the Enamorus. Again, another Pokemon that I'm not like crazy about. I do like the Enamorus that we got. That was like paired with Kogisa in the trainer gallery from a few years back. But this is also another one that I think is pretty cool. Like, I think I like the perspective of like you have a bunch of this foreground here, and then you also have the hearts kind of come around too, which is nice to see. So yeah, like just solid. I think it's a pretty solid card overall. And then of course we have the Groudon to go with the Kyogre, which is interesting because yeah, like I mentioned, Nirakabe did the Kyogre and did the Groudon previously. So it's interesting that like we don't have a corresponding artist rendition of Kyogre with Ryota Murayama doing this one. So now I'm kind of like, I would like to see Murayama do a Kyogre card in the future maybe to go along, because this like Groudon, I do love the one from Paradox Rift, but this might be, I think this might be even better. Like the lava coming down, like flowing on Groudon, it's giving me big Mystery Dungeon vibes when you go against him in that game. His kind of lair. Love how he looks like submerged in the lava here with his feet, and then this like lava waterfall, lava fall. I don't even know what you'd call it, but yeah, Ryota Murayama has done some amazing artworks in the past. The Flygon from Phantasmal Flames, the Koraidon as well from Scarlet Violet Base, and a bunch of other ones that I'll throw up on the screen. So I'm a big fan. I think they're quite underrated as an artist. So it's really cool to see their take on Groudon here. I think it looks amazing. The lighting, everything about this card is just gorgeous. Next we have the Inkay from Rond, not to be mistaken with Ren from earlier, but super crazy looking card with Inkay, like kind of got these bubbles all around them. Rond has these very vibrant, very colorful, very bright cards. They previously did like a Rapidash card, I think from Destined Rivals, and this is very reminiscent of that kind of style. Again, Inkay is not like one of my favorites, but I do think this looks pretty nice. Next we have the Azurill illustration rare, and yeah, just a really cute scene, I guess. Love how the flowers look. I think someone pointed out that this is very similar to some of the kind of the locations that we have in Hoenn, where you have these kind of wooden planks near the water, so it's kind of cool that we're getting that sort of referenced there. But yeah, Azurill, just a cute Pokemon, very sweet scene, so yeah, nice to see. And then we have the Altaria. Altaria is one of my favorite Pokemon ever, to be honest. So it is cool that we're getting illustration right here. This isn't one of my favorites of Altaria. It's cute. I like the kind of music notes. I do find myself like comparing this to the one we got. I think it was from Paradox Rift, the EX. I think that was by Jiro Sasamo, and that one is just like, it's pretty hard to top, that one, to be honest. But again, this one's really cool. It's nice to see Altaria getting even more representation, because I like that Pokemon. And then this is the card that I think a lot of people are going to go crazy for. The Tomokazu Komiya Kecleon. The Stripper Pole Kecleon, as some people are calling it. Insane. Just like an insane card. Komiya, like, has a reputation for a reason. And I just, the plant life, I guess, is going around. There's got a sunflower here. And all this kind of, yeah, this vegetation and flora behind them. Just looks insane, and then Kecleon's rendered in a really cool way here. The tongue is like insane. So yeah, I just think this looks amazing. So overall, I think this is the kind of final illustration rare we have here. I think this is a really solid illustration rare kind of lineup. I think they kind of knocked it out of the park with the choices here, and they just look pretty good top to bottom. And then moving on to the full arts, I've mentioned before how I'm just obsessed with these Mega full arts. I think they've done such a good job with them. And Mega Glisspod, yeah, he looks great. I think, to be honest, Mega Glisspod's one of those Pokemon from Legend ZA. The design is very similar to the base sort of form, which is fine. I mean, I think Glisspod's a cool design as is, but so you maybe don't really need to iterate that much when it's such a good design as it is. But yeah, I think this looks cool. I like, again, how you have the original Pokemon behind them. So yeah, pretty fun. We also have these other full arts here. So we have a Rotom full art. I'll probably skip through these because these full arts aren't as eye-catching to me, but they are still alright. I mean, yeah, I do like Rotom Heat Form. He's funny that he's an air fryer, but you know, nothing to write home about. Wishy-Washy, similar. I do like Wishy-Washy's Pokemon and the kind of gimmick around him, but again, it's just a full art, so nothing too special here. And similar with the Raikou, I mean, this is kind of a dynamic pose, but it's nothing compared to like these mega full arts. And this Mega Galurk does look really cool. I'm a big fan of Galurk, and Mega Galurk is just it looks crazy. So I do, yeah. This is one I'm probably going to pick up or try to be on the lookout for. He is very cool. And Mega Malamar is similar. I really like Mega Malamar's design. I think he's super creepy and super cool. And like this is coming from someone who's not even the biggest like Malamar fan, like base form. I think Malamar's fine, but it's not one of my favorites by any means. But Mega Malamar's really cool, and we'll get onto it a bit more when we talk about the special illustration rares. But it is a shame that we're not getting a special illustration rare for Malamar, because I think you could have done something very cool with this kind of swirling animation that he does in the game, incorporating that into an artwork. But it's cool that we're getting the full art at the very least. Like he looks great. I think this is, of the mega full arts, this is probably my favorite. I'm probably gonna want to pick up. So, and then we're moving on to the Rayquaza, which I think I'll talk a bit more about Mega Rayquaza when we get to the special illustration rare. But it's cool that we have the Rayquaza in the back. Rayquaza in general is my favorite legendary. So it's cool that we're getting a set based around him in the Mega Evolution block. But yeah, like I said, we'll come back to this guy, because I might have some things to say. And then we have Talonflame, yeah, whatever. And then the item cards, I've mentioned the item cards are not my favorite, but sure, we're doing them, we're still doing them. We got this like lamp, this camping lamp, which is cool, I guess. This ray gun looking thing, sure. And then we got like we got a bulletproof vest sort of thing here, so sure. They're still going to do these item cards. These are probably I've mentioned it before, but the things that are holding the Mega Evolution block back for me. I know this is probably great for players who want to bling out their decks, but just, yeah, whatever. And then moving on to the trainers, which I'm a lot more interested in. This MC card, we had an MC, I think, in Destined Rivals, and this is a different design. I think it's unique to the TCG, so I like it when they do these cool character designs that are completely like bespoke for TCG cards. And this is a really cool design. I think the colors are really cool with this like purpley blue sort of background, and yeah, the train looks great. So one that I'm gonna be trying to pick up for sure. And then I think this is Arun from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I admit that, like, even though I play those games, I don't remember this guy at all. But he's cool. I think he's got a cool design. I love the flag kind of motif, and we have a lot of cards in this set actually with like mountains and peaks. I guess that is sort of fitting with Rayquaza being kind of like a aerial kind of bloke. But yeah, I think this is cool. I really like the kind of how this is designed and the rendering of it, and he's cool. And then we've got Zinnia, of course, which makes sense because of her connection to Rayquaza. This looks great. I love the kind of the motion of the cape, and then the kind of like, I guess, grass blades flowing in the wind. I think it makes it look so dynamic. And then how Zinnia's kind of like looking back at you. I think this looks great. Zinnia's had a couple cards, but this is like one of the better ones, I think. It looks awesome. And then continuing the Hoenn representation, we also have Tate and Liza, which is also cool. I like it when they do gym leaders. There are a lot that are still missing, especially from these earlier gens. So it's nice that they're filling in the blanks, and yeah, it's cool that we're getting Tate and Liza here. I think, yeah, Unishida always delivers with their artwork. Such a distinct art style for trainers. So yeah, another cool one. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I guess we have to talk about these cards now. These are getting full arts now. The special energies. Oh, man. This is really, to be honest, I think this really holds the set back. I don't think a lot of people are big fans of these energy slots, or these energies taking up the slots of the final kind of card in a pack. And now we're getting full art versions of these. And man, I'm just not a fan of them. They're really fun to use in the TCG, like the special abilities that they give Pokemon and that sort of thing. But like, I just think the designs, well, if you compare them, like, all that's really changed is that there's no kind of blank box beneath the text. So it's just extending the artwork to the bottom. And you can see this with all of them, like with the fire, the nitro energy, I think it's called, and then the bubbly energy as well. Like, they just... all they're doing is removing this white box. I just think it's super lazy. I know we're going to get some, like, texturing and stuff, but... man, I don't think these are distinct enough from the kind of regular holo versions to justify their existence. I'm sorry if you like these, but man, I wish these were not here. Like, the item cards were one thing. This just sucks, man. But now we're onto the special illustration res. So we're back onto some cool stuff. And I think these are, on the whole, pretty great. So yeah, first of all, Mega Galissapod looks so sick. Nagamiso has done some really dynamic cards in the past, and this is another, like, just great showcase of their artwork. I love how the perspective is with the giant claw coming through, and then we have these this like mega energy that's kind of like been a motif for a lot of these mega cards. But yeah, just awesome. The lighting looks great. The colors, yeah, this is probably one that's going to be underrated, but I think it looks awesome. Then we have the Raikou, or Raikou, whatever this bloke's called. One of the legendary beasts. Another one that, like, just looks insane. Kind of looks like, I don't know, like an old tapestry with kind of how muted and desaturated the colors look. But I love how it's like Raikou's like almost riding the lightning through this kind of this valley of stalagmites or stalactites. I don't know which one's which. The spiky rocks, basically. And it looks cool. I love how it's like also the storms kind of brewing above, and it just looks amazing. Oku is another artist that is, I think, kind of underrated, but has done such a great job doing this here. I don't think this is my chase. We'll get to what my chase is here in a little bit, but this is one I definitely think I'll want to try and pick up. The Raikou V from Crown Zenith is one that I think is difficult to beat. I love the speed lines. I think that might be a Nagamiso card who did the Galissapod, if I'm not mistaken. But this is like so different that like it kind of stands on its own. I hope we do get a Suicune and an Entei card to go along with this at some point, because it would be nice to like put them side by side. So yeah, really cool. And then we have the SIR for Mega Golurk, which is interesting because it really is just kind of him walking towards the camera, which is not like the most interesting thing in the world, but I do think it's kind of cool with like this kind of ancient sort of ruins that he's coming through, and the perspective almost seems like you're kind of this, I don't know, this like explorer kind of stumbling upon this ancient monolith guy coming through. I don't know, I do kind of like the lighting, and even though it is kind of like not very dynamic, I do think it's really cool, to be honest. Even though it's kind of similar to how the full art looks in terms of posing. So I don't know. I think this is also another one that I'm definitely very interested in. And then we have the big one, the Mega Rayquaza SIR. This one I think is going to be interesting to see where this lands. So the first thing I want to point out is by Kazuki Minami, who is a new artist to the TCG. Actually, they actually won the Pokemon Illustrator contest. I think it was a year or two ago. At this point, they did the Pikachu from that, which is a gorgeous card. Probably one of my favorite Pikachus that's ever been made, to be honest. It's a really cute Pikachu. And this is such a different kind of direction for them as an artist to take, because this is like the polar opposite. It's like this like really epic, really like bright, crazy lighting going on here. And look, I think this is a cool card, but I think there are a couple things that are holding me back from this being like the big chase card for me. To be honest, like I mentioned, Rayquaza is my favorite legendary. I've been a massive fan of them since I saw them in Brawl. When you fight Rayquaza in Brawl, I think that's such a cool moment. So I've always had a really soft spot for Rayquaza since then. But I'm going to be honest, Mega Rayquaza, not my favorite. I think Mega Rayquaza is the definition of like over-designed, and a lot of Mega Pokemon are like that. So it makes sense you want this really epic kind of version of Rayquaza. But I think honestly Rayquaza's design is perfect as it is. So when you try to like build upon that, it just kind of results in this kind of really, I don't know, just really over-designed, really like over-the-top Pokemon, which is still cool. Like, I still think it's a cool Pokemon, but I would still always prefer regular Rayquaza over Mega Rayquaza. So if this was a regular Rayquaza card, and that was what we were getting here, I would be a lot more excited, to be honest. But it's still cool. Like, the lighting's really cool. I know people kind of complained about like the backgrounds of some of the recent SIRs are kind of like, I guess, a mess. They are kind of like, there's a lot going on, and like, but there's also not a lot going on at the same time. It would be cool to see like, you know, like, I don't know, like even like a mountain in the background, just to give some semblance of where like Rayquaza even is. It's kind of hard to tell what is really going on. You have these like weird branches here. I don't really know what that's about. You also have them continuing here. Maybe if you see them in person, if you see this card in person, it'll make a bit more sense of what is actually happening here. But yeah, as it stands, like, I think I have a feeling this is going to be the big chase of the card, because it's Storm Emeralda and Delta Rain, like Rayquaza is the mascot. But to be honest, like, if I don't get this, I'm not going to be upset. I'm much more interested in getting the Kyogre and Groudon from the set in comparison to this. If I pull it, cool. I think it'll be awesome, but definitely not my chase, to be honest. And then moving on to the trainer SIRs, I think they've done an amazing job with these two here. Yeah, the Arun one, super cool. Shimaris Yukichi does these really cute like designs, very simple, but like, I don't know, I'm just obsessed with this art style. This is what I would want like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to look like, with the kind of chibi art style that they had in that. This is like just amazing. With the waterfall coming down, it just really gives you a good representation of the kind of environment, and it kind of distilling down the feeling of playing those kind of like 2D Pokemon games, to be honest. So this is like definitely going to be wanting to get this one. And then moving on to my chase, this Zinnia card is incredible. Taser is just like amazing as an artist, to be honest. Like, I'm just obsessed with their cards. I think they do such a good job with like rendering and the lighting, and like this is insane. Like, the lighting that's coming off of Zinnia, and then this kind of like heavenly glow in the background, I just think looks so cool. So I wasn't expecting Zinnia to be the thing that I was like most looking forward to in the set, but when you've got artwork that's as good as this, yeah, it's kind of hard to beat, to be honest. And yeah, as we kind of round out these SIRs, it is a shame that we're not getting a Mega Malamar. That's the one I was really kind of hoping for. Maybe we'll get another one in like the kind of special set after Celebrations. Maybe they'll go back and do a Mega Malamar. I think that'd be really cool. But you know, as it stands, I think the SIRs are pretty good, like from top to bottom. And then we have the gold card, of course. Yeah, the gold cards, again, like if I pull one, I think that'll be cool, but it's not like something I'm gonna be really like seeking after. So it's fine, but again, Mega Rayquaza is so overdesigned. Like, there's so much going on here. Like, I don't even like know where to look. So it's fine, it's cool, but that's the set. Or is it? Because we also have some other cards that are technically not secret rares, but I think they're still worth talking about because they are very, very cool artworks. So yeah, we have these stadium cards that are kind of harkening back to the Heart Gold, Soul Silver days. I guess the Legend cards is what they were called, where you have these two different cards that are connecting together. So yeah, we get these three different stadiums basically representing Kyogre, Rayquaza, and Groudon. And I think they honestly look really, really cool. You can see like a bunch of Pokemon in the artwork, like Mantine here, and then we've got Watchful too. And all of these have this kind of motif of like this Pokeball design in them, and it's like subtle enough where it's like, it's definitely there, but like it's cool how they've incorporated them like with these kind of rocks representing, and the shadows representing the lines. I think that's kind of like just really smart here. So these are like, again, more cards that I'm really kind of surprisingly like really wanting to pick up. Nagamiso did this one here, I guess for Rayquaza's kind of sky pillar sort of looking design, and like the swirls of the kind of air thrusting about, like you have the Altarian Swablu, Fletchinder, and Fletchling here as well, flying through the sky. This looks gorgeous, with the lighting as well. someone put online, there's an Espeon and Deoxys tag team promo, I think. They put it in between these two cards, and it doesn't like necessarily make sense like perspective wise, but how it comes out with the Deoxys and the Espeon in the foreground and background, I don't know, people might go crazy for that card now, just because it kind of does line up with how this looks. So yeah, really cool. And then we also have the Groudon sort of arena here by Akagi. Also just really cool. Less subtle with the Pokeball this time, but yeah, we've got the Growlithe, we've got the Magmar, we've got a Heatmor here and a Steelix. Again, I mentioned it before with the Groudon card. Big Mystery Dungeon vibes. And we do have a lot of Mystery Dungeon cards, so any kind of like semblance or something that like kind of harkens back or like even resembles those games like even a little bit just gets me super excited. So yeah, I'm a big fan of how these came out. They look really, really cool. But that's not all I wanted to talk about, because there are some other cards that are kind of releasing around the time of Storm Emeralda that maybe we'll be getting in Deltarune. I don't know. Well, this is just speculation at this point, but I wanted to bring up this Mega Gallade here, the SIR drawn by Akiragawa, one of my favorite artists. Always love when they do cards here, and yeah, this, first of all, it looks amazing. Like it makes sense. Akiragawa always delivers with this kind of sketchy like designs that they do, and this like just this perspective's like insane with the background here as well. But this card is a promo card in Japan, and it's releasing as part of basically this kind of tournament sort of system in Japan. And basically, if you're a winner of it, you have a chance of getting this promo card. Basically, yeah, 2,000 applicants based on like these tournaments that you do will randomly win this card, which is cool for Japanese players, but also a shame because like it's gonna be a very limited card, very hard to get, I'm assuming. But normally when they have these kind of promo cards in Japan, they do tend to bring them over to English in some form, and they've done that in the past with bringing them into sets. Like we had the Meowth. It's not the same situation because I don't think that was a tournament exclusive thing, but the Meowth was originally kind of a promo card in Japan, and then they brought it over to Phantasmal Flames as part of the main set. So I don't know if this will be part of Deltarune. It'd be really cool if it was. I think it would really bolster that SIR lineup. But even if it isn't, I hope we get it at some point in the future. I think it'd be cool even if it was part of the next special set after Celebrations. I think it's Mega Parade or whatever. I think we just need to see this in English. Like, I really want to see it. I think it's really cool. But we're not even done. We have some other cards here that might make their way into Deltarune. It's a bit up in the air. But there are these deck boxes that are releasing in Japan. And they have some really cool promo cards. So I think it's worth talking about these because maybe they'll show up in the set. I think it'd be kind of cool if they do. This Brigatizo here by Jiro Sasamo. I mentioned them before with the Altaria and stuff. Another one of my favorite artists. The flowers look amazing here, and the colors and everything here, so would be really cool if we got this brought over to Deltarune. Next up we have a Zora from Gosan here, another illustration rare. The lighting looks amazing. I love this kind of Victorian sort of housing that's going on down here, which is really cool environment, and the kind of perspective as well with Zora on this kind of ledge. Don't jump, sorry. But it looks cool because you have the plants here and it's kind of like overarching over the city, which is really nice. And then the final one, which I think is probably going to be the most popular one if it does come over to Deltarune, is Eevee, Hideki Ishikawa, doing it here. Another really cute one. I love that we just noticed that we have a baguette here in the foreground, which is really cool. You're kind of on this picnic. Eevee's kind of snuck their way into the picnic basket. Just a really cute scene. Still probably not my favorite. I think this Brigatizo is still probably my favorite, just art-wise. But also, it's still really cool. Like, we have this map down here with a lot of, like, kind of detail. So yeah. So those are all the cards that I wanted to talk about. And I'm gonna be honest, like, Deltarune is looking pretty good. Going into this video, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I have obviously seen these cards before recording. But I was sort of like, yeah, this is kind of like I'd say like a mid, like placement for like the Mega Evolution block. That's where I was kind of leaning. But after going through the cards individually, to be honest, I think it's pretty strong. Yeah, like I mentioned, the energy cards, those who really hold it back. So with those in mind, and again with the Mega Rayquaza, I think comparing that even to like the Mega Darkrai from Pitch Black, even like the Mega Charizard, it's still cool, but I think it's probably not to those kind of, it's not that echelon, in my opinion. But it's still a really solid set, regardless of all of that stuff. Like, I think the Illustration Rare lineup is like pretty good, top to bottom. The SIRs, even with the Rayquaza, are all again very good. So I think this is probably like one of the higher tier sets, to be honest. Like, Pitch Black is probably still my kind of favorite for the Mega Block at the moment, but Deltarune, especially if it's got all those other cards that I talked about, could sneak its way in there to maybe that second slot. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So that's all I think of the set. Let me know what you think about Storm Emeralda, what you're hoping for from the set, what are your favorites, what are your least favorites. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get my hands on some Deltarune products, so if you want to see some unboxing for that, stay tuned for the channel, subscribe, like, do all the things, and yeah, goodbye. See you later.